tips for our students as well, because I came from engineering background and then I went to a business or management studies, right? So yes, it's my right to choose like what I want to study, but at the same time, I have to justify why it is important for me. In my first visa interview, I had a discussion with the visa officer for 30 minutes and we talked about football for 30 minutes. It didn't even ask like why these rules and all that. So it all depends on the conversation. But all they're trying to understand is that are you a genuine person and what is your intention?
Why still it is important to get a job in the UK market? So employers use AI to check CVs.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Welcome to another podcast of Campus Group. Today, as a guest, we have Mr. Abir Utsha, the head of operations of Campus Group. Thank you, Mr. Abir Utsha, for attending us in this podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Mr. Abir Utsha, can you tell our audience about yourself first?
Oh, that's a long story. I'll try to keep it short because it's been a long time. So this is my third attempt at UK Live, by the way, for everyone who is interested. So I first came to UK way back in like 2009 to do my undergrad. I went on to work for a couple of years. Then I decided that, I need another qualification. So I went back to studies. Then I fell in love with this academics. I was on the other side of the table. Now I'm helping people to achieve their dreams. So that's in short, like my last 16, 17 years of my life.
May we know that what was the course you have done in this country?
So my undergraduate was a little interesting. I was a teenager, basically, when I first came to the UK. I was into F1. I was one of the spoiled brats, so I really wanted to do something with cars. So I came to study automotive engineering.
Okay. So when you have done your automotive engineering in the UK, have you received any placement or did you work anywhere?
Yeah, I actually worked quite a few places because the university I went to, they had a great industry connection. So that's what I also tell our students, to choose a university not based on the ranking just itself. Also understand what is your long-term goal, what is the networking opportunity. There is a saying that I say a lot, you guys must be bored about it. Your network is your net worth. So basically where you can make the right connections. So first, I had a internship or a placement with Vauxhall. Then I had some time with JLR and British Petroleum as well. So there are plenty of opportunities. Even though I had a very interesting story as well. Like when I was graduating in 2012, I graduated in 2012 May, and the great Theresa May. We had PSW back then, and she came into power, and she decided there won't be any PSW. So even then, I managed to secure jobs. So, and there are plenty of my friends who stayed back, contributed to the economy, and doing well now. So, like I always said, there is always jobs. There are always opportunities, whether you're grabbing them or not. So then from there, when I was getting promoted through the ranks, I found out that I was not really doing any kind of engineering works. I was more into management and whatnot, right? So I went back to studies because I thought like, hey, I need some management skills and management what. So that's another tips for our students as well, because I came from engineering background and then I went to a business or management studies, right? So yes, it's my right to choose like what I want to study, but at the same time, I have to justify why it is important for me and how I see it helping out in my career, in my life goals and whatnot. So I got in. And I actually have a very interesting story regarding in my first visa interview. A lot of our students and a lot of us gets very intimidated regarding interviews, right? Like, oh, interview, it's an integration. What are they going to ask? This, that, and all that. In my first visa interview, I had a discussion with the visa officer for 30 minutes, and we talked about football for 30 minutes. It didn't even ask like why this course and all that. So it all depends on the conversation. All they're trying to understand is that are you a genuine person and what is your intention? Again, sorry, I talk a lot, as you can understand. Coming back to my story. So when I went back to studies, I developed a great relationship with my course directors and all my lecturers and everyone, and I got into, you know, research. And I was a research assistant, I was an assistant lecturer, and then one fine morning, the world, the nature, the God decided that I should help students to achieve their dreams, and then I've been doing this for over a decade now.
So, Mr. Abi, it can be seen that you have done your BSc in automotive engineering,
Hmm.
MSc in automotive engineering from Coventry, right?
Yeah.
So, but even though you are not in your industry, but you are still having lots of opportunities in the UK. So, my question is, what skill it is important to get a job in the UK market?
So that's a very interesting question and a very difficult question to answer. I will share my bits, right? Like even when part-time jobs, right? When I first came to back in 2009, I was barely another adult, right? I found work after a month and I started working. And then I had friends who were here for 3, 4 years. They couldn't find a single job. See, man, no one is going to serve it on a plate for you.
Exactly, yeah.
You have to go out there. I remember uh, like walking 5 miles, 6 miles every day. Back in the day, we didn't have the technology like it is today. We had to print out. I used to go to the library to print out my CVs, like 50, 60 CVs, and then walk out, knock every door that I could, walk every shop, find a job for me. Like you have to put in the effort to get that job. And at the same time, I think I would like to reiterate on that. The most important bit, a lot of us, especially I would say South Asian students
Mhm.
miss out on the networking bit. They do not they network, but they network socially, but not network professionally, and that is very important. And at the same time, just a degree basically means nothing to you. As you know, like we are trying to hire few candidates over the last few months, and I think we have interviewed over 70, 80 candidates,
Yeah.
right? And we still didn't find the right person, right? So it's just not what you are on paper. Like if you want to do a qualification, don't just do it for the sake of doing a qualification. Try to understand what you're getting out of it. For example, to coming back to your question in terms of engineering, like, oh, you did engineering degree, now you're doing this. How does that match up? It's not about the engineering qualification I received. What I took out of that engineering qualification. For example, process optimization, data analysis that I can use in any sector. So you have to understand what you are taking out of it and how that particular course is going to help you in your future career plan. It's kind of like reverse engineering. I always do reverse engineering. It always works for me. So I want to see, for example, if I was a student now, let's say I have completed my undergrad or taught master's program here in the UK. Now I want to extend my stay, but there are two ways of extending your stay. One way is just extending the stay for the sake of extending your stay. You have studied 16 to 20 years in your life. You have spent enormous money on your education. I don't want to offend anyone, but my question would be like, do you want to stay just for the sake of stay and work like odd jobs for the rest of your lives? Or you want to stay but do proper jobs like proper career progression that. So if you want that, you have to identify what are the skill sets needed for that job and how I can achieve those. And a lot of times we don't care about soft skills. But let me tell you, my friend, and every viewers out there, that is the most important skill out there. For anything, any job you do, if you don't have soft skills, you're going to have problems, unfortunately.
Can you please explain our viewers what are the what is soft skills and how can I achieve soft skills?
So there are quite a few aspects to the soft skills. It's from uh, carrying yourself, how you're walking, whether you're walking confidently, how you're expressing yourself, how you're talking to your peers, how you're receiving information, how you're expressing your views. So a lot of elements are into it. A lot of it are common sense, but only common sense were so common. But it's just human senses that you want to present. I I watched an interview on a reel the other day. There was a big time CEO, and a interviewer was asking him, "Oh, You don't have any technical knowledge. You don't do any technical stuff. So what is your role basically? And his answer was like he has immense confidence in his test and he knows how to express himself. That's his job title basically. So that's all about soft skill, right?
Thank you. So we received a question from one of our audiences. Like we have received like 4 pages of
Oh
questions.
wow! I didn't know I was so popular.
So now the question is one of the I'm just not mentioning the student's name. So he is telling that he was all through his career he was a first class first, right? But when he came to the UK, he is doing like in his word is odd jobs. Like he's working at Sainsbury's. He's not getting a white collar job. And but at the same time, his friend who was a very mediocre student, but somewhat he has achieved after the course was after completing fintech. The friend have a job in was Canary Wharf, like a white collar job. So he's telling us that what was the like key factors that changed his friend's life and what is not changing his life.
Well, first of all, like working in odd jobs, I have utmost respect for that. Like, of course, that's a noble job in itself. But at the same time, I understand where he is coming from. So what he is telling me again, I don't know him personally. On paper, he might. So results are important, by the way. Don't get me wrong. Results are absolutely important because let me take you through a generic UK recruitment cycle, right? So you apply online in most cases, and AI or a software or someone will check that whether you meet all the requirements. So usually when you apply,
so employers use AI to check CVs.
yeah,
right?
absolutely, absolutely.
So CV is important now.
CV and cover letter is very, very, very important.
So guys, remember one thing for application to like if you're applying for a job, the cover letter and CV is very important. So Mr. Abir, can you tell us about what is cover letter and what is the UK CV?
So UK CV is basically very standard CV. It should not cross more than 2 pages. If you Google Elon Musk CV, he has a one-page CV. So we definitely need to have a CV that's not more than 2 pages. The CV needs to tailor to the job. So you have to go through very thoroughly, like what are the requirements on the job.
Okay.
So every job post,
different requirements.
so different requirement, and there will be mentions like which skills are essential, which are advantageous, and all that, and whether your CV or your cover letter or your supporting statement is addressing that. If you are not addressing them in the preliminary automatic selection round, you are getting out. Your CV is not getting to the next stage.
So CV plays a vital role to get a job in the UK.
Absolutely. And I am horrified to know because UK universities, any UK university has a great, great career team. They almost beg students to come to them to tailor their CV according to the UK job market. So if you do not have like a good CV, there is absolutely no excuses. Please get in touch with your university career team, or you can get in touch with us. We have a specialized team as well who can help you out. But CV is absolutely, absolutely important.
So viewers, first thing to get a job in the UK, first important thing is cover letter. Secondly, your CV, and CV shouldn't be like any other CV. It has to be a UK format CV, and it's no more than 2 pages, right?
Yes. And no photos, please.
No photos. Yeah, no photos. Photos are not required in the CV. They do not.
If you're applying for a modeling job, yes, send all your portraits, but not for a regular job.
So we see that in South Asian students when they're submitting CV, they write that their hobby is reading, writing, is sleeping, and this and that, and they're giving everything like what they are doing from their childhood. They explain everything. Do you think this is a good CV?
I'm not interested. So I look after a very small organization, right? I don't have the luxury of time to be personally interested in you in my first screening, right? So I don't necessarily need to know those unless I'm getting married to that person, like what are their hobbies and whatnot. I'm more interested in the roles that they have done, what was the actual role, because a lot of times we don't see enough details put into the role, and what were your achievements in that role, so that I can get an idea like what are his skill sets, because the CV is basically my first impression of you.
So, audience, one thing I just want to make it clear: we are using odd job. It doesn't mean that we are just defaming any job. It's a slang word which is using to mention this job. But odd jobs in the UK is also very good jobs. Odd jobs means that working at Sainsbury's, Tesco's. It also, if you need also very high skill to get those jobs as well.
And at the same time, my friend, if
Yeah.
you talk about odd jobs, me myself, and I'm very proud of that, I swept streets, I cleaned toilets here in the UK, and that made me a better human. So no offense to anyone.
Right, right. So job is a job, work is a work. Every work is valued here, and you can earn similar money to any other jobs. So as you are recruiting a lot of people, so when you are recruiting for someone in marketing, so what type of CV you require from a candidate?
So I would like to want to know what are the marketing projects that
Mhm.
they have done. What were the deliverables? What are the things that they planned out? What are the initiatives they took? If it was a team project, what are the roles that particular person played? But most importantly, like what were the deliverables? But at the same time, I would like to see some marketing assets that they have done, some like sort of a portfolio, like so that I can get an understanding of their expertise.
Does it mean that the person or candidate must have experience?
Not necessarily, because a lot of job has transferable skills, right?
Mhm.
Because for example, like from my engineering background, if I walk into an interview, because I walk into most like management interviews now, right?
Mhm.
I can tell like what I learned from that and how I'm gonna implement those. Coming back to your example of those two students, right?
Right.
The one student was great on paper, right? So my question would be, were he able to demonstrate that? And that's where the soft skill comes into from. You might be a great person, but you only have that 5-10 minutes in that one-to-one interview or in a group interview to express yourself, to show them who you are. So are you having that moment? Do you have a self speech for yourself?
Exactly. Yeah. So the most important part is, even if you're knowledgeable, you have to have the skill to represent yourself, right?
Yes.
So that student who is having a very good like result, maybe that time couldn't represent himself,
Yeah.
and the person who has a like mid-level, like for example, like just got married
Mhm.
in masters or something,
Mm.
so he represented himself properly and tailored himself according to the job descriptions.
Yeah, he must have done quite a few things right.
Right. Yeah.
He must have kept the right network. He must have had a wow moment in that
Right. Right.
interview.
Exactly.
And to be honest, at the end of everything, luck also plays a part. You can deny that.
Okay. So there's a question from an audience is, do we need a British accent to get a good job?
Oh, I have lived in country for most part of my adult life. I never picked up an accent, and it was never a problem. Again, it's your expertise, your confidence, and again, coming back to that CEO quote, if you can express yourself, that's all that matters.
Okay. So next question. Only Russell Group graduates get their jobs.
Absolute bonkers.
Okay. So
Uh, yes, it might have a slight advantage because they have might have access to better network and they're utilizing that network. And if again coming back to like if you have good results in the first screening, you might get ahead. For example, I'll give you my example of my KPMG interview process. So usually the interview process is like you apply online, then you get shortlisted, then you are sent a test online, a quantitative test and a literary test, and then if you pass that, then you have to move into like phone interview, then assessment day and whatnot, right? So because I had an engineering qualification and I had good grades, I didn't have to do the quantitative test. So sometimes some courses and stuff give you a little advantage, but that's not the final call.
okay. Okay. So accent doesn't matter.
Absolutely not. I would not be anywhere if that mattered.
Okay. So students who are coming in the UK after completing their degree, they
Mm.
get 18 months PSW or post-study work permit. Some students are saying that this is a waste of time, but
How is it a waste of time?
well, they're telling that in this post-study work permit they don't get jobs. It's not possible for them to get a good job. It doesn't help them to add any value in their life. What?
So the big mistake that
Mhm,
students usually do,
mhm.
they start applying after they get their results, they're into their PSW. In the UK, the again that's an assumption from my personal experience. A regular job cycle goes 4 to 6 months
Okay.
from applying online to clearing all 4 stages. Some of them have 5, 6 stages. So clearing all those stages takes 4 to 6 months, right? So if I am final year student starting this September, I should be applying for jobs from September. If I am a master student, international master students coming to the country, I should be applying for jobs from the day I am in this country. I'm not applying, oh, let me finish the qualification, then I'm going to start applying for jobs. No, that's not happening. And I'm going to say something really bad. If you, my friend, cannot get a job in 18 months to 24 or 24 months, what used to be before, now it's 18 months, I am sorry to break it out to you. Maybe this is not the right place for you because there are plenty of jobs. We, as a small organization, we're struggling to hire people. I know big companies looking for skilled people. The key word here is skilled. There are plenty of jobs in the market. Are you skilled enough to get that?
So in this part, I have it arised another question to me. Like, if the students came to the UK and they want to apply for jobs, which portals or which website they should look for?
There are quite a few ones. The immediate ones I would go for if I am a student, I'll again contact my university career uh, team. They have some wonderful opportunities, and a lot of times they can almost guarantee at least an interview. And it's easy to get in. There are student ambassador jobs. There are a lot of things that you can do within the university, like library, cafe, and whatnot. So if you're looking for part-time jobs, those are very student friendly, pays well, and at the same time you can build your network. And universities does a lot of like networking event. Don't think of that as a waste of time. Try to network as much as you can, and like I said, start applying as soon as you understand. So the timeline would be you come in, you enroll, you settle down, you talk to your career teams, tailor your CV, find out opportunities, start applying.
So, audience, this is very important. You always, when students came from South Asian or any other countries, they just do classes in the at the university. So it is you have a very good team, which is called career team,
Career team.
career
It
team.
might be like label different teams, but
Yeah,
you get the
there
gist
must
of it,
be a
right?
team which helps the student to get a job, correct their CVs, and also create the networks, right? Uh, Here I have an interesting question. So we often see, we are in this industry, we often see the students who come from India, they always mix up with Indian people. The Bangladeshi, they always mix up with Bangladeshi people. So they do not mix up with other nationalities. Do you think it's also a problem that people are
Absolutely.
not getting
I'm
this?
going to say something controversial again. I'm a
Right,
controversial king.
right.
You didn't spend all that money, come to a different continent to mix with the same people. If you wanted to mix with the same people, why have all this, Why waste all this effort and resources?
Yeah, you come here to learn the culture, British culture. You have to understand, you have to get the good things from the British culture, acknowledge that the culture is what you can get from the culture, as London is a very cosmopolitan.
And absolutely, and it's just not a British culture because you come here to study in the UK to be a global citizen. The
Right.
world right now is a global world. So, not necessarily you are studying here to just study and stay and work here. You can take your skills anywhere in the world.
Yeah, you can see that every type of nationalities you'll find in the UK. Like, whenever you are working, you're in left side 10 nationalities, in right side 10 nationalities. So you have to take a lot of things from them.
And that's another aspect of like UK education.
Right.
It makes you culturally intelligent.
Multi-diversity.
And that's what in your later career, like I said, the world has become a global village anyway.
Right.
So that will help you to set up your own business or wherever you're working, you know?
So it's not just the education system, it's the environment as well, right?
Absolutely. I think the environment more than anything else.
Right, exactly. So there's a question from another student: is part-time jobs don't count as experience in the UK? Is it true?
No. Even volunteering experiences count as experiences. Again, it's just not, oh, I did this. It's not a tick box. What you learned from this. The same analogy with your studies. What you took from that experience. Did you learn anything? Did you learn any skills that you can bring forward rather than saying, oh, I did that. I did that. So, for example, we talked a lot about Sainsbury jobs, right? Sainsbury jobs teaches great things: time management, problem solving, teamwork, communication, and whether you're taking that to your next opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. The next question is interesting. Students are asking that they're thinking that only good jobs are available in London.
Not necessarily. Yes, there is a plenty of jobs in London because there's a big population, but then again, more jobs, more competition, and the living cost in London. I work in London, but I cannot afford London, so there you go.
It's good. If you're living in London, you'll have everything.
True that. It's a capital, it's a center of the art, right?
One student, they asked me that I have applied for 300 jobs. I haven't received any type of response from the employer. What do you think? In which sector or why I'm not getting response from the employer?
That's just part of the journey. Before I got my first full-time job here in the UK, I actually counted. I had 247 rejections before I landed my first job. So it's part of the journey. It's not about you. It's that age-old thingy. It's not me. It's you, or it's not you. It's me. So it's basically the competition, because a lot of times students thinks that, oh, I have applied to university, I got in, right? But university has so many different seats. But when you're applying for jobs, let's say for one position, there are 10 people applying for jobs. On that day, you were not maybe there. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you are not good or you are not fit, right? But it's just part of the journey. You have to keep applying, but at the same time try to learn why you were rejected. A lot of company will give you in detail feedback that what went wrong in your application process, but at the same time, in terms of applying, try to understand like what are the requirements of that role and whether you are addressing them either in your CV supporting statement or in your interview.
Okay. Students often ask that it is not possible to get a sponsored job because of the increase of threshold. What do you think about it?
Well, yes, of course, it's slightly difficult, but it's not impossible. It's just that, like, so that's why you need to start applying early. So, as soon as your PSW starts, you can start a job so that over the next 1 year or 18 months, you perform that well, that you have progression, right? And to be honest, it's just simple math. If you make business enough money, which business want to lose a asset? Because for right now, like, we are struggling to get people, right? If we find a suitable candidate who can do the job, like you like lead a big team, right? Would you let that person go?
No, definitely not. So we are coming to the last part of this podcast.
Oh no, I was enjoying this.
Okay, so now, in brief, can you tell us that, like, if you are looking for a job in the UK, what things we have to keep in mind? For example, we have talked about the soft skills, CV. So can you give us a brief about everything?
So, firstly, if I were the student, I would want to picturize or visualize a position or a sector that I want to work in. A lot of times, when I talk to students, they say, like, oh, any job will do. Just get me any job. And that's the first big mistake. That means you're desperate, and you are also showing that desperation in your interviews. No one likes desperate people, and no one will hire you like that. And also at the same time, I see a lot of people doing courses just for the sake of doing courses. They don't even know like why and what this course will help, right? Yes, it's extending your stay, but is it improving your life? If it is not improving your life, then what is the point of doing that course? So before choosing a first important thing, before choosing a course, try to identify where this course will lead to, whether it will teach you any skills, whether you're going to get something out of this. And every individual is different. Some people might find a networking opportunity more important. Some people might find, oh, the lecturers who are teaching the class, what research they are currently conducting. So it depends on a lot of things. So first, I think the important thing is choose the right course to identify which course will help you in your future career. Then do the right networking skills. Soft skills doesn't happen overnight. You have to keep practicing. I say it in a very layman language, like you have to know how to sell yourself. Because on that interview, excuse my French, but you have to sell yourself. So if you cannot sell yourself, try to like practice. I used to do a lot of practice in terms in front of mirror, in terms of my body language, how I talk, how I look. A lot of times I used to record myself and then hear myself and then rectify myself that why I could have done this. I would pick a topic. I would speak on it for 5 minutes just to see how fluent I am, if I can express myself. Uh, so soft skills, like I said, it keeps you have to keep working on it throughout your life to get there. And at the same time, right network, right people, and try to research the job. Tailor your CV, your cover letter supporting statement according to the job, and ensure that all the requirements in the job you have addressed, and also show how you are filling in the requirements and how would you create value. Everyone likes value.
So thank you, Mr. Abir, for your time today. So audience, I think you have understood the basics of UK job market and how can you get a job and how you can prepare yourself for a job. For all international students who are in the UK or anywhere in the world, our door is open for you. If you need any career guidance, you can come to our London office, Birmingham, or Manchester, or our regional offices. We can guide you through in the UK. And we are coming up with lots of interesting podcasts as well. I hope you will going to watch and enjoy those with some knowledge, and you can extend your skills. Thank you for watching this podcast.